Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's Dirty Dan. What do I have today? I have the very large pistol in the 45 ACP by H&K. It's their Mark 23. A very heavily engineered, well-built pistol. The reason I bought the pistol is primarily because it's well known for accuracy. So I wanted to invest in something a little different than my favorite 1911. This is an Ed Brown 1911 I had custom made so I could shoot my targets most accurately, my steel targets, and the Ed Brown is a fantastic performer. So when I first got the Mark 23, I just shot regular ammunition through it to get it broke in, and then I shot my favorite load that the Ed Brown I had worked up for it. Well, unfortunately, I have not been able to get the Mark 23 to show the accuracy that I can get out of my 1911. And what I did then is I even tried working up a load for the Mark 23, basically varying the bullets, varying the powder charge, varying the cartridge length, so on, like you would typically do to try to find the best accuracy in your firearm. Well, I couldn't get any great repeatability on my hand loads, so I turned to buying manufactured ammunition. Now, I don't typically shoot manufactured ammunition for two reasons. One is I can find a hand load that's more accurate. I can work out my own hand load that's more accurate. Number two is cost. So, all right. So what do we got today? Well, you can see all the boxes of the ammunition. I just bought what's readily available. There's 9 different variations here, and we're going to shoot 5 rounds of each type of ammunition to see how it prints at 20 yards. So let's do it. Okay guys, here we go. The first bullet ammunition I'm going to start off with is my load that I found to be very accurate. It's a 230 grain Hornady XTP. I don't know how good you can see it. 5 rounds. We're going to start off so you guys can see. I don't know exactly what it's going to indicate. You can see what the group looks like using my hand load. And then we'll compare it to see if the accuracy gets any better using manufactured ammunition. Now, I've already shot the pistol 50 times, more than 50 times, because I always put my firearms away clean and I lube them really well. So I just didn't want to pull it straight out clean and then shoot the ammunition that way, because I know my pistols, they shoot better when they're first cleaned. And so I wanted a fair comparison. I didn't want the first 5 rounds to be the most accurate because the firearm was perfectly clean. So I fired this firearm more than 50 times, maybe 60 times. So it's good and fouled up. The oil, all the lubrication is displaced and all that. So it should be repeatable as far as its performance going into these shots. All right. My targets. My targets are basic. I always keep blue painter's tape with me and white sheets of paper, because that way I always have the ability to make targets. And I have no problem seeing these targets. I've found out this method works very well. It's a go-to when I'm here and all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I want to start putting this stuff on paper. And I love putting it on paper because what I do is I file these away. So I already have a folder on the Mark 23, and I have, I don't know how many targets in that folder. 20. We'll say at least 20 on all the various load workup I did trying to find a good load. So the load I'm getting ready to shoot is the one that I found best on my hand load. Now this is a hollow point. When I was shooting this earlier today, the hollow point did get, I think twice, the hollow point got caught on the feed ramp. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens with the manufactured ammunition. Oh, so I've also noticed the the cap on the threaded end of the barrel, it loosens up. Now, I don't know if that affects accuracy. In my head, I think it would. I know for a fact it would on a rifle. Does it affect it on a pistol? Honestly, guys, I haven't a clue. But typically what I've been doing is, so it's ruled out of my head, I typically keep it snug. I haven't found a method to keep it, because I keep everything so well lubed. The the recoil on each shot, it jars it loose. So until I come up with a good solution on keeping it fixed, or even just shooting without it, I'm gonna make sure it's not gonna affect the accuracy. Okay, guys, well, wow. That was far more accurate. Good heavens. That was far more accurate than what I had seen earlier today shooting the steel. Now, maybe I'm better with this pistol at shooting crosshairs than shooting a steel silhouette, which is usually what I do. The steel silhouette's easy, because all I have to do is go down range and paint it, and I can get a general idea of how it's printing, you know, and shoot it over and over again. But yeah, that looks like a really good group. So it'll be interesting to see what the rest of the manufactured ammunition does. All right, let's move on. I had something else to say, but I forgot what it was. I'm sure I'll think of it through the next 45 rounds. Okay, guys, the next ammunition's going to be Hornady. Their manufactured ammunition, 20 rounds to the box. It's 185 grain XTP. So kind of similar in nature to that first round I just shot, the 230 on the hand load. That bullet was also the XTP. I'll show you what the, there's the nameplate on the Hornady. Okay, so same thing, guys, 5 rounds. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I have not adjusted the sights on the Mark 23 at all. I haven't shifted it left, I haven't shifted it right. And as far as I understand, if you want to change elevation on the Mark 23, you have to buy I believe you have to buy a new rear sight. They're made based upon what elevation change you want to make. So you have to take the sight out. I guess that's got to go with the rugged durability of the pistol and no chance of anything being fouled up, drifting off. I mean, the thing is built. And I have not made any changes to the pistol. Everything is just as it came to me from the factory, except I've been meticulously cleaning it and oiling it. Heavens, if anybody would abuse a firearm and not keep it pristine. I don't keep it pristine when I'm shooting it, but when I'm done for the day, my goodness, my firearms go away clean unless I just don't have the time, and then I'll mark them with blue tape and I'll say dirty, and then I know, like, oh, it's already dirty. I can either go ahead and shoot it again and then clean it, or I just need to go ahead and clean it. Anyhow, let's go ahead and put these 5 rounds downrange. I'm very curious to see how these manufactured ammunition prints. So it went up the feed. Oh, yeah, the feed ramp. So the feed ramp worked fantastic on my hand loads. Those hollow points did not have any problems going up the feed ramp. So good news. I can't see that group as well from right here. So let's pull that and we'll go with the next round of ammunition. Okay guys, next round is Sierra 185 grain jacketed hollow point. Here's the box on the Sierra bullets, Sierra ammunition. Most of them listed the velocity on the boxes. Some of them did not. I don't see it on this one. All right, I can't see where these are printing because of the sunshine. Some of y'all might be saying, well, you needed to shoot from a rest, Dirty Dan. Well, I tried shooting pistols from a rest before. Guess what? It stinks. I hate shooting pistols from a rest. It's extremely uncomfortable. And to shoot this many rounds from a rest, I'm sorry. I'm not going to put myself through that. So it's my video. I get to shoot how I want. So I'm shooting for accuracy standing up. Stay tuned. More to come. Next, ammunition. Remington. 230 grain flat nose. This is the only flat nose bullet in the lot. Kind of an interesting flat nose. I don't know if you can see it. Instead of just being straight copper on the flat, it's lead, exposed lead. These are labeled as subsonic. I find very interesting because I would think most 45 ACP is going to be subsonic. It's a box of 50, so does that show you everything? Yeah. All right, I do have a silencer. I bought the B&T silencer that's specifically made for the Mark 23. I will say it did not silence it enough. The B&T suppressor did not silence it enough that I felt comfortable with my ear protection being off, which I'm just starting to shoot with suppressors, so I need to research what's going on with that, make sure that I'm not messing something up. But I do have a suppressor for my HK MP5, which is an awesome firearm, and I shoot that thing suppressed and it's like a pellet gun. It's a dream. So what is this, the fourth piece of manufactured ammunition being a flat point? I'm going to assume it's not going to be as accurate. That's just a complete guess based upon hollow points in pistols seem to be pretty dang accurate if you get a good quality hollow point. Flat base are just kind of cool looking bullets. I like them. I like the appearance of a flat nose, but I don't typically ever shoot a flat nose for accuracy. Let's see what it does. Oh, was that a bullseye? Oh my goodness. I think it was a bullseye because I can see that in the orange dot. All right, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, sorry. Let's go see what that group looks like. I can't see it. Next bullet, next ammunition, your typical 230 grain full metal jacket, federal ammunition. Was this the American Eagle? Yes. Regular target ammunition, American Eagle. Show you the box. This one came in a box of 50. I believe this is what you would call ball ammo. I had never really fully understood why it's called ball ammo. Sure, it has something to do with the military. All right, so flat nose, 2 bullseyes, but the spread on the group wasn't as great as the others. This target ammunition, 230 grain round nose, I think it's probably going to do a little bit better than the flat nose, but not quite as good as the jacketed hollow point. Now remember, guys, I haven't shot any of these manufactured ammunition before. It's the first time I've ever shot it, so I don't really know what it's going to do. I'm just kind of having fun, trying to give a prediction. Y'all can share your predictions. Oh, that was me. That was a bad shot placement on that one. So discard that one. All right, I do like the fat trigger on this pistol. It does, when the trigger resets, I can feel it having a bit of a bite to it, but since the trigger is so, it's a very wide trigger, and because it's such, I don't know if you can see it, it's probably going to get blocked, but since it's so wide, it doesn't really hurt. Now maybe if I shot hundreds of times continuously, I don't typically shoot that way. I don't just shoot and fire my firearms continuously non-stop. I'm usually going down range, putting up another target. Although I don't typically shoot targets, I don't like shooting paper. I'm typically shooting steel, so I'm usually taking a break, going down range and setting up steel targets. So anyway, I do like the wideness on the trigger. It's very it's very forgiving on my trigger finger. Next ammunition up is Nosler. I assume I'm saying that right. Nosler ammunition. It is 230 grain. Yeah, 230 grain jacketed hollow point. Let's see, which end of the box? I think both ends of the box. Nope, just that. Actually, the bottom of the box. The bottom of this box has velocity information. So there you go. There's the information on the Nosler. 230 grain. Jacketed hollow point. All right, let's see. I think I also have another piece of Nosler ammunition. So let's pull this one and we'll do the next. Next is Nosler 185 grain. Yes, Nosler 185 grain jacketed hollow point. I will make a comment about the brass ejection with the Mark 23. Since I reload, obviously I pick up all my brass, right? So I've noticed the Mark 23, it doesn't throw the brass very far, which is fantastic, because some of my firearms, they'll throw the brass further than what I have set down here in the woods to be able to find it. I put down landscaping, like if you were going to do mulch, I put down black landscaping so I can easily find my brass, pick it up, and it stays clean. So some of my firearms were ejecting the brass so far, I had to expand, and it was just a pain. Well, thankfully, the Mark 23, they did a great job on the injection, and it doesn't throw the brass extremely far. So I appreciate that. Oh, and as I was picking up my brass, I noticed that the last ammunition from Nosler used Starline brass. I've never seen manufactured ammunition made with Starline brass. Starline brass, I always thought was used only by reloaders like me. I love Starline brass, and Starline brass is what I use for my hand loads and all my pistols. And I was surprised to see I was picking up Starline brass. I'm like, that wasn't a hand load, that was Nosler. And I checked the box, and the rest of the ammunition was Starline brass. So another interesting note. All right, so I think I showed you that. So it's going to be a similar look. Jacketed hollow point again. It's 185 grain this time, and there is the data on it. I think it was a hawk that just flew by. It caught my attention. I don't see very many interesting birds around here. I love owls. I have not seen an owl. I've heard them before, but I've never had the opportunity to see an owl here in the woods. All right, guys, so to keep it fair, what I'm going to do at the very end, the one ammunition that shot the best, I'm going to shoot it again to make sure I'm not getting fatigued, my eyes aren't getting fatigued, and I can shoot it repeatedly in an accurate group. So that will just validate that I have shot consistently the ammunition throughout the course of this time. All right, on to the next round. Okay, we got Remington again. Remington, interesting. I didn't know I had any flat points or any others other than the previous Remington that was subsonic, because this box just said 185 grain full metal jacket. It didn't say FP on it. But guess what? It's a flat point. The box says full metal jacket. I assumed it was round nose, but after opening the box, it's a flat point. Here is the box information. Is that the most detailed end? It looks like it is. That's about all you get. Just target ammunition. Okay? Oh, you know what, guys? I said I was going to keep turning my... I got maybe eighth turn out of that. Attachment at the muzzle. I said I was going to keep it snugged up, and I forgot. Totally forgot. So I have no idea if it had any bearing on the accuracy or not. Ooh. Yeah, that last shot was ugly. Next ammunition is The most inexpensive target ammunition I believe you can probably get. CCI Blazer, 230 grain, full metal jacket. It's aluminum case. It sticks out, doesn't it? You can tell right off. That's aluminum case. So I don't typically buy aluminum case. I don't think it's bad for the firearm necessarily because it's softer, but you should probably do your homework on that. I wouldn't swear that that's a true statement. I definitely stay away from steel case. And brass, aluminum casing, you obviously can't reload, so that would be the other reason I stay away from it. I don't know that it hurts the firearm any though. Alright, so there you go. That's it's 230 grain, and it looks like both ends are labeled. Just basic information. I don't see any velocity information on what these should be. These are just target ammunition. It doesn't even say that, but that's all I would ever use it for. I don't remember what the cost was. I would think it's probably one of the less expensive since it is aluminum case. It probably is, I would hope, the least expensive of all of them. Alright, the last one of the ammunition is the SIG. The SIG V-Crown. I love the bullet. It's not necessarily been my most accurate bullet, but I do love the SIG V-Crown bullet. It just is a nice looking jacketed hollow point. Alright, last piece of manufactured ammunition. The SIG 200 grain jacketed hollow point V-Crown. So like I said, I like these SIG V-Crowns for a jacketed hollow point. I've not tested them in ballistic gel. Maybe I'll have to do that one of these days, but just the opening on that jacketed hollow point, it just looks like a great round for self-defense. I really like the bullet just because of the way it looks. 200 grain. This is the only ammunition that's been 200 grain today. I think it's been 185 or 230 grain. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's been the variation. I don't think there's been any other 200 grain, so it'll be interesting to see how this one shoots. Let's see the box so you can see exactly what we got our hands on. I don't see any performance. Oh, it says 918 feet per second. So there you go. There's the information on the SIG ammunition. All right. All right, let's pull the targets. I don't have a pair of calipers here today. Calipers would let you measure the distance between the center of the extreme on the group and determine which one has the best group. But I think for pistols, I usually just look at it and say this is the best looking group. Again, it's not scientific as it would be if you were shooting in a bench rest competition where you had calipers and you would measure it down to 10 hundredths, thousandths. You measure it down to thousandths of an inch on the group size. Anyway, we'll pull the targets. I'll pick the one that looked like the best group, and we're going to shoot it again to see that it's repeatable. Not only repeatable for the shooter, repeatable for the firearm, as the firearm has been shot, 50 more times. All right, guys. So the winner for the worst group is the CCI Blazer, the aluminum case. Remember that round? Yeah, that's the ugliest looking group of today. Even the way it prints on paper is just ugly. It's Target ammunition, so 20 yards, I don't know. I wouldn't buy any more CCI Blazer. It's just not a very good group. What was the winner? Well, guys, I was surprised. I thought for sure 230 grain ammunition would be the best, most accurate, but it wasn't. It was the 185 grain. The 185 grain repeatedly provided the best groups. So, which 185 grain did the best? It was the Hornady. Of course, Hornady makes a fantastic bullet for pistols, the XTP. The XTP I use in 44 Magnum, I use in 45 Colt, I use in 357 Magnum. What else? I don't know that there is an XTP for the 9mm. They make a HAP, HAP, but the XTP, it's just an excellent bullet for accuracy. The Hornady, it's just, you can't go wrong with it. I don't know, I've not ran across one that's more consistent than the XTP. So there you go, that's the 5-shot group. Let's revisit it. So what we're gonna do is I loaded up 5 rounds. We're gonna see if I can repeat. We're gonna verify that I can shoot it again just as accurately. It's gonna be tough because that's a pretty nice group. So obviously I want to be relaxed and I want to do good shot placement again. So let's give it a try. It'll also verify that a little bit more fouling in the pistol is not having any bearing on the accuracy. So I just want a good target bullet to start working on my loads with, and I don't want it to vary throughout the day. So if I can repeat another good group with it, then hands down it'll be the Hornady 185 grain. Now if it doesn't shoot as well, I don't know what to say. Let's see what happens. I was holding steady on that one. Sorry to see that one print high like that. Alright guys, I'm gonna go pull that target. Let's look at it. Well guys, I didn't do as well in the second group. I wish I could have. It would have validated the pistol not losing its accuracy. It would have validated me being able to shoot as accurately. But here they are side by side. Here's my first group. Here's the second group. So I'm gonna give her one more try. We got 20 rounds. I would like to be able to repeat this group, and then I'd sleep well tonight if I could do this again. All right, that one may be a little better. I don't know yet because I can't see it. Let me pull it. All right, guys, there's the third group. It's just not as good. I'd like to rule out if it's me or the pistol. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the pistol, and then I'm going, let's see, this is the third group. I only got 5 rounds left on that box of Hornady American Gunner, I believe is the name of it, right? Yeah, American Gunner. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna clean the Mark 23, give it a full cleaning, and then maybe shoot. I like to shoot some fouling rounds through it. So let's do this. This will be the plan. I'm gonna clean the Mark 23. I'm gonna shoot 10 fouling rounds through it, and then we're gonna try the fourth and final group of the Hornady American Gunner 185 grain XTP and see what the group prints like then. Okay folks, here we go. One last attempt. So I did exactly what I said I was gonna do. I cleaned the Mark 23 just like I was putting it away in the safe. So cleaned the barrel. I spent the most time on the barrel. I'd say overall I spent like a total of 40 minutes cleaning it. So typically the barrel, what I found on my pistols, you clean them. I use hobby number 9. The first patch through gets fouled. The second patch through, not nearly as bad. And then I use a brush and I wet that brush down real good with Hobby's number 9. So the first brush, oh my goodness, after cleaning it with the patches, the first brush and then another patch came out very filthy. So I did that sequence, the patch and the brush, I did that 3 times. And then finally, after the third time, the patches weren't coming out as dirty after that third brush down. So anyway, I did clean all the parts, the frame, the slide, the barrel, and I think that's about it. The slide stop. So I did shoot 12 rounds of my own ammunition downrange to kind of like, quote, foul it a little bit, get that oil displaced, get everything positioned in the barrel. Oh, I did lube the barrel a little bit too with the oil. So anyway, let's see how it prints now. I'm going to call this pistol clean. Basically, it's a clean pistol. We'll see if it prints any better and determine if a little bit of fouling causes it to lose accuracy, or if it still prints the same, we're just going to call it the shooter. So again, it's the 185 grain XTP by Hornady, American Gunner is what they call it. One more time. That's it right there. Alright guys, we have a fantastic overcast moment. So there's already one in the chamber. I used the decocking mechanism earlier to decock it. So all I have to do is pull the hammer back. Alright. The bugs have been out today. When I'm shooting without you all watching, what I typically do, I put a towel over my head so they don't bug me. I don't know what happened on that shot. That was crappy. Alright guys, let me pull it and we see what it looks like. Alright guys, well, it's still a decent group. I don't know what's up with that flyer. So this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say cleaning the pistol helped, I do believe. Also, my eyes get fatigued. So iron sights. Iron sights are not pleasant for my eyes. I cannot change the distance that I see with my glasses. My glasses, I can only see distance, okay? So my iron sights are a complete blur. So earlier in the day, it's possible that I was able to consistently place the blur of the iron sights more repeatedly on the target. I don't know. Guess what? The only way you figure out was with more practice. But what I wanted to determine today is what can I load to get me better accuracy out of the Mark 23. Without a doubt, I can load the 185 grain, right? That's definitely worth working on. Guys, guess what? I love this country, United States of America. Thanks for tuning in today. There'll be more to come on the Mark 23 and the H&K SP5.